5.
Right. So let me share the screen. The slide.
There are 5 people waiting.
Nice.
So
Nice.
I don't know what's 5.
Okay. Right. Disable the audio. Okay. So now also have the chat open again, so I can check this out. So okay, let's start this live coding. Hello everyone. I'm very happy to see you here, all here. So this is our first live event from the WoT Things community group. It's kind of experimental. It's going to be kind of a roller coaster for us. So please feel free to provide all your feedback in the chat or help us, improve this experience for you for the next live coding event. So together with me in the Discord channel, we have Ege Corner, which is the community group co-chair. Now I think we can start sharing the slides. There we go. I hope you can see it. So for today, we're gonna start a little bit with some news from the community group. It's gonna be a really short community news, and then we'll go deeper in the live coding, and I'm gonna explain some concepts of the web of things and how you can use node-wot, Node.js runtime for creating web of things applications. And I go into detail on how it works, also node-wot. So this is what we are going to do today. As I said, together with me today, there's Ege Korkman, which is the co-chair of the community group, and I'm Cristiano Aguzzi, which is I am the co-chair, of course, together with Ege, of the community group, and I'm involved in the standardization of web of things with the working group in a different part of it. I'm working on the thing description side, on the scripting API side, and also help in the discovery task force. So, yeah, you can reach Ege in the chat, of course, almost forget about it. You can reach it both in Discord again or in YouTube. We'll monitor both chats. As I said, you can find us in the Discord. We have a calendar. We have a YouTube channel. So if you're probably from YouTube, now you are seeing us from there. We have a GitHub repository where all the discussion about what we are going to plan for the next time and discussion about features of the Web of Things or bugs or how you can use Web of Things, Q&A sections and so on. You can find them in GitHub repository, but you can also ask questions in the Discord channel server. We have a home page, some administrative information in this W3C hosted website where you can also join the group. We have a mailing list, and we have, just to remember, we have an official website for the Web of Things hosted at the W3C servers. Yeah, today we are not going to take minutes. Everything is recorded on YouTube, so you can watch this live event later on. If you have questions or do you want to say something, you can just provide feedback. You can use Discord chat, which is faster. But if you're on YouTube, probably there's going to be some delay. We measure it right now. It's about 30 seconds. So it's not really real time. So expect a little bit of delay for answering your question. News from CG. Basically, we start again the discussion about collaboration with the working group, meaning how the community group, us all together, can provide some help to the standardization process. You can find more details on the pull request. We're going to host an internal meeting next Thursday, so feel free to join us if you, if you have some ideas on how the community can help the standardization activities. It could be wherever. It could be let's propose use cases, or it could be let's try to apply those things in some industrial product that you know, and so on. So please let us know your ideas on how we can collaborate with the working group. We have a tutorial website up and running. Ege worked a lot on this. There we are planning to host kind of a tutorial something from really zero to become a real expert on the web of things. So, for example, there's also tutorials about JSON if you're not familiar with it, or if you're coming from, I don't know, an hardware background, you can watch the tutorials posted on the website. There are both forms. There are written forms and video forms. Yeah, I clicked on it. Somehow went to the other one. Okay, there we go. We started an Home Assistant focus group. The goal here is to understand how we can integrate our efforts with the Home Assistant community. It's administrated by Josh. I don't think he's here today, but basically is in charge of it. We just coordinated him and we watch it closely. But if you want to help, please feel free to join us in the Discord channel or by email. We have an introduction video available at YouTube in our community server channel. Sorry, once again, I guess I clicked wrongly. Okay. So if you want to participate with the community group, you can basically just go over the website that I showed you right before, and you click this button. What does it mean? It means that you are now subscribed to all the events. You are showing your interest in the Web of Things community group activities, and this helps us a lot. It's kind of a social media follow thing, no strings attached, but if you contribute to the discussion, it's way better for us to understand your needs and also to make better solutions for the Web of Things. So please join us. Yeah, as you probably know, this mostly for Discord users. This live is going to be recorded, so everything I say is going to be public, and we're going to make it available on YouTube. Okay, so today we're going to start with the coding task, and we have I prepared the link, and also we discussed about this during TPAC this year. But today I try to go a little bit deeper on the inner workings of the node-wot, and probably we also code and expose the thing itself, a virtual thing itself. So at the TPAC we just saw how to interact with the thing, and today we are going to see both sides of the coin. So exposing a thing, meaning publishing a thing and let other people use it, and using a thing, which is, we call it consume a thing and then interact with it. Oh, Josh is here. Hi, Josh. So this is the first time, as I said, if we are doing this event. Please let us know your opinion in the chat. If we are doing fine, if you have some plugins for OBS or any other way to improve the streaming, let us know. Yeah, so it's the first time we're doing this. Let us know your opinion. And with this, I guess we are done with the slides. So let's move on with the header setup and Postman a little bit, and then I'm going to show you the task itself. Okay. So today, I'm in the slide. Oops, what is happening?
5 people waiting.
Nice.
So
nice. I think there's something in the feedback. Ega, do you hear me? There's something that I have feedback back. Don't know where it's coming from. Okay. It's weird because I'm hearing an echo. I don't know where it's coming from, and probably just wait a second. Oh, okay. It was my fault actually. Sorry, everybody. I had one tab open randomly with the YouTube live, so I was hearing me back in like in the past. So that's why. I hope now it's fine. Yeah, I'm not hearing anything. So again, going back to the subject of today, we're gonna use VS Code. So let me move also the agenda. Now we are in this spot. VS Code without any particular configuration is pretty plain. I use some plugins myself, but they are not needed. I don't know. The theme is not needed. Of course, you can use whatever theme you want. Here I'm on Windows, but you can also do it on Linux. There's no particular requirement for the IDE setup. And so you can just install plain VS Code and you can just use it as you wish. I'm going to use as much as possible the CLI over here. There are some actions that you can do also with the UI and so on, but it's just my coding style. I just prefer to do stuff on CLI most of the time. I hope that I do not use too much shortcuts because I'm used to it then. But if you find something that you don't understand, please let me know. And just a quick show about Postman. I use it today just to test some web things that we are hosting live, but it's not that fundamental for today. So if you don't have it, you can just use whatever HTTP client you have. It's just for testing and it's very useful for debugging. And yeah, I don't know what is happening now. Okay, it seems that I'm out. Yeah, I'm out. For the Discord guys, for the YouTube guys, I'm out from Discord for some reason. So I'll try to join back. Here I am back. Somehow Discord automatically shut it down. So sorry for that. Yeah. Don't know why that. Yeah. Just automatically restarted. Probably some automatic updates. Really sorry. Again, Postman is not that important. We're just using to test some web things. So if you have it installed, that's fine. Whatever other client, HTTP client is also fine. Okay, so moving on with other topics. We have the starting creating folder and install dependencies, right? So we are doing just that. So let me go on the right spot. I already created this folder here, but let's create another one and we call it inside live demo mashup application. Okay, hope I didn't misspell it. Okay, for node-wot, we still don't have a nice way to jumpstart your project. I actually developed a CLI tool for doing that, but now I did not quite maintain it so far. So it's called WoT Application Manager. It's one you can find on GitHub. It's still on hold because we are trying to figure out how to improve the jumpstart process. So for today, I'm going to do manual, but bear in mind that in the future we can use the integrated NPM features to create the project itself, like you are used to do with Angular or other web frameworks, basically. So for today, we go on the old way, manual way. So we init the project. We call it mashup application. I think we can go just with the default here. And there we go. This creates a package.json folder, but now let's start another Visual Studio Code instance here. Yes, of course, I trust the authors. It's myself. Let's open the CLI once again. Okay, now we have the project ready. We still do need a couple of stuff, like first of all, create an index.js. It's going to be our entry point. And also, by the way, today I'm going to use JavaScript, but you can do the same using TypeScript itself. Actually prefer it, but for the sake of, it's way easier to program a simple program in JS right now for today. So let's do it like that. And we will start installing node-wot. Just for the people who doesn't know it, node-wot is this library over here, Thingweb. Go. I think it's the old one. Let's do node-wot. It's faster. There we go. Node-wot basically is a runtime for interacting with web things. And why is that useful? Because we basically going to interact with a lot of web things, and which it offers our API to easily interact with them. So I'm going into detailing later on, but for now, just keep this in mind. Node-wot is split in different packages according to what you need to do. For today, we're going to install the core package, the HTTP package, the co-op package, and the MQTT package. So for doing that, it's quite simple again. You just do npm install thingweb node-wot. Sorry, it's like that. Node-wot core node-wot finding HTTP. Let me check this. Sorry, so I almost forgot it. It's binding HTTP. Now binding. As you probably can imagine, I'm installing different libraries to interact with different protocols. So that's what we are going to do today. MQTT, binding co-op. So this is probably the first set of packages that we're going to need. Probably I forgot also TD tools, but I'm not sure we are going to need that. If anything, we will just install it. So let's start with this couple of packages, and we will see how it goes. Let me take a drink. Meanwhile, again, do we have any questions on YouTube? Because now I lost it. The chat. Okay, cool. Okay, now we basically have the project ready. You should see the same structure here. So node modules and index.js, package log, and package JSON. For the people that are not familiar with Node.js environments, basically in node modules, you have all the libraries and additional dependencies stored shuffled there. So there are all inside here. And package log basically just lock the version and the package so that when you do the install process once again, you install the same packages and will not mess up your application. Okay, so the setup again is pretty simple. We are going to go with the next step, which is basically explaining what we are going to do today, right? And I have it ready here. So this is the explanation of the task of today. It's the same that we showed the TPAC again, but I will add some things why we are coding it. Okay. So basically, we skip this prerequisites. We have Node.js 18. You can download for the official page, and then the bindings for node-wot. So HTTP, co-op, and MQTT. We install them. And the task is that we are trying to automate a small part of our own. Okay, it's a simple, stupid application. Basically, we have a room like this. We have a bedroom, and we have a door, and then here is the kitchen. Each morning, you wake up and you go to the kitchen area, of course, and you want that the coffee starts brewing automatically, right? We have to write the script. And we have a couple of things that we can use. Things meaning web things. Sorry that I'm using things as a synonym of web things. Basically, those things are remote virtual things that we built before the live event. We hosted them at Thingweb server. And here you have the links to the thing description. So basically, we have the coffee machine over here. This is the thing description. I'll try to zoom in for Discord users. Like really quickly here, basically this coffee machine is a virtual coffee machine. It's not a real one. And it's written using a HTTP binding, so you can interact over HTTP. Then we have a presence sensor. Also, this is simulated, and this is implemented with MQTT, and you can interact with MQTT with it. And finally, we have a smart clock. We could also use the clock of the PC, but let's pretend that for whatever reason you want to know the real time in that room, whatever you are in the world. And also, it's a practical new web thing that we can subscribe to make the examples. And so we build this virtual smart clock that also runs quicker than the time. So we don't have to wait until tomorrow to see the app live and working. Okay, and this is co-op based, so it's not HTTP or MQTT, it's another protocol itself. For people that are not familiar with the Web of Things, you might notice that here we are just describing stuff. The Web of Things in itself does not define a new protocol, but it's trying to be a descriptive metadata format or information model that allows you to explain to the user how to interact with your devices or services. So that's what we are trying to do. Okay, I guess I showed all the things that are live right now. We can interact with them over the internet. So in the next step, I'm going to show you a little bit what happens if you talk with them around, right? You just send a request and see what happens. And then I'm going to show you how to write the application itself. So let's go to the next step. Yeah, I should already see this. Sorry about that. Didn't update the UI. Now we are going to show you the request, right? So, for example, let's take this coffee machine. Okay, we have a couple of actions: view, field, and a couple of properties. So we have resources, and that's it. Okay, just resources. So we don't have node-wot now, but we have a Postman client, and we can use the thing description to manually interact with the web thing just by reading it. We can use, for example, this first form. We know already that the result is going to be an object, and we know that from the form that to read the object, to read the property, to read exactly the object, we have to do a GET request to this href, okay? And we're also going to expect an application JSON as a result. So let's use Postman for this. I'm going to create a new collection, talking things. And then here, I'm going to add a new request, test coffee machine. And what I'm going to do is simple to copy the URL over there, and it answers with the object itself. So we interacted with the remote web things, and we're done using a simple client. Now the thing is, what happens if I want to interact with the other things? So let's go here on the presence sensor. Now I cannot use Postman anymore. So here you can see a little bit the interoperability problem. We are so far in the spectrum that there are not even common tools to interact with different protocols. So for this, I installed, maybe I can just open another terminal application. Yes, it's better. I installed a MQTT client, and as we did with the HTTP web thing, here it's the same. You can read the form to understand how to interact with the event presence detected. So we know that we can subscribe to events using MQTT over this URL. Sadly, right now, node-wot is using an old version of the binding template of MQTT. Binding template meaning the way we are describing how to interact with the web page. So the keywords that you see here, OP, content type, are from the thing description, but you can have protocol-specific keywords like the one here. HTTP method name. where you can instruct the client or the consumer how to perform the operation. Sadly, as I said, we have the old version of node-wot, and basically the MQTT topic is connected together with the MQTT broker. So it's all information is here, and you have to know what is the topic, what is the broker itself. In the new version, we did something better, but we are not going to talk today about that. So I'll just show you how to interact with it. So MQTT, subscribe, because the default in the old version was subscribe. H, this is the broker. This is the topic. So if everything works correctly, we should see the events popping up because they are simulated randomly and basically tell you the distance. Yeah, sorry. Thank you again. Let's see if I can zoom in. It's Ctrl++. Should work, but it's not. Okay, do it manually. Zoom in. Zoom in. Can we do it faster? Why is it not? And zooming in once again, and once again, I guess. Somehow the shortcut does not work. I don't know why. Okay, I guess it's better. Yeah. So this was the MQTT one. Let's move over the co-op. Again, this is a smart clock. We just have one property, which is time, tells you the time, current time. You can also observe it. But let's try the co-op client. I have this thing installed. We can do as instructed here. We can simply, as much as switch HTTP, we can simply do co-op, get this, and we got back the result of the current time. I think we can also observe. I didn't try it before it, so let's pray the computer science God that everything goes correctly. Observe. Yeah, basically we got notifying back that something changed. We should get that once again, but yeah. So you can use the tool also to observe it and so on. So that was the thing that we are going to interact with. Again, what is important to notice is that we switch a lot of time, different tools, different tooling, different language, different concepts that you have to understand to interact with the thing. What we are going to show with this application is that thanks to node-wot, everything is correctly abstracted, and you have one single application interface. And without any further effort, you can interact seamlessly with all these things together. All right, so let's go back to our example, my subs application. So first of all, what we need to do is to instantiate a servient. Okay, so node-wot, the core of node-wot gives you the ability to instantiate servient, and then we need to have the HTTP client, not server, as Copilot is suggesting. And to do that, we can just do probably like this. It's faster. Require binding HTTP, and we're gonna get HTTP at client factory. Let's do both of them just to be sure. Don't remember if we exposed them with HTTP or HTTPS. Probably in the future we're gonna unify these two factory, but now they are separated. So you have one for HTTP and one for HTTPS. Then you need to do the same for MQTT. And it's not HTTPS client factory, but it's MQTT client factory. And then probably it just work like this. Yeah, probably this one. We're going to run the script to see if everything works correctly. We create the service as correctly suggested by Copilot. Okay, this is just what we need. And then we need to add the factory. HTTP, we don't need this now here. Have a couple more. Let me know if I go too fast. But I guess this is just boilerplate. And QTT and co-op. All right. So we did the initialization. Let's see if everything works correctly. Yeah, no error. So I guess everything was correctly set up. Okay, now we should start the service. I usually start like this, as suggested by Copilot. There are different flavors of this. I also forget to update the agenda. I'm not sure what I'm showing right now. Let me see in my control, sorry. So right now we are just collecting node-wot introduction. We are sort of in node-wot introduction, okay? Then I'm going to also explain the CLI library mode. Sorry about this short introduction. So I usually start like this, and then here I start coding, all right? And this is the usual, quite common setup for node-wot, right? Nowadays, we see people use this more often than the other mode. But node-wot comes also with a CLI, and I can show you installing it. And what the CLI does is basically creating for you a runtime environment where you just remove all this boilerplate code. Is done by the CLI itself. And then inside it's not a real virtual machine, but it's actually an execution environment where you can run your JavaScript files. And there you can just right away use this WoT object as a global object. This aspect needs a little bit more improvement. So if you want to contribute back to node-wot, please feel free to help us because it's a little bit outdated. And nowadays also the library that we're using to do the JavaScript execution is deprecated. So yeah, if you want to help us, it's gonna be really important to a little bit revamp this mode of using node-wot because I think it's very clever. It also helps newcomers because they just need to understand all the boilerplate code. So yeah, please help us there. I show you what it means. So let's do like this. With the CLI.js, you can basically do like the WoT directly. Let's do like console log the CLI.js, and you have this object available. And this means that it already is for you, created a service, added all the bindings for yourself, and then it starts the server for you, and you are inside of it. So if I do like this, which is a shortcut, you can do basically like this. So just wait a little bit. Hope you can see the terminal here. And what it does is it's do a bunch of stuff, and then it runs the CLI for you in theory. It's just stuck there. Weird. I think we got it. Okay. Yeah, it's like this. Sorry, guys. I think so. Like that. Probably demo effect. Yeah, probably demo effect. Let me try to understand what is happening in 1 second, because it should work. Let's do first simply like this. help. See, oops, wrong. Okay, so we have it installed, but then does not run the script. Maybe we found a bug with the latest distribution of node-wot. This should run right away, but it doesn't. Yeah, it's weird because we tried that, right? I remember that correctly, Egan. The syntax should be okay. So 5. Weird. Maybe like this, but I'm not sure if that's correct. No, that's not like it. I just want to try the manual mode, just give it a last try. And then we're going to switch to the usual one. And nothing weird. Just me. Should simply run the script. Okay, we have one issue to create, right? So no CLI for today. That's why I asked for your help. So again, something that we have to improve in node-wot. It's actually my favorite one, my favorite way to use node-wot, but somehow it's still not used that much. So that's why it's probably it's undergone some refactoring. Node-wot's gone a lot of refactoring lately, so we probably messed a little bit with this tool, and we didn't actually properly fix it. So let's go back with the usual mode, which is this one. This one basically imports all the stuff that you need to create a WoT application, but you have a lot of control over it. Of course, you can, for example, just use HTTP if you know that you're going to interact with just HTTP things, or you can decide some parameter of the servient, secret, authentication parameters, and so on. So it's way more configurable for your needs this way. So that's why it's probably the preferred one. It's also easier to embed it to your own application. So let's pretend you have your own application up and running. This is way easier to configure and embed, which is on the other end, the CLI is not that great to embed in applications. So yeah, that's why probably the preferred way. Okay, so let's try to console log what is happening here. Servient started, and node index.js. Let's go. Okay, we start with the servient, and now what we have to do is to fetch the thing description that we saw right before. So the thing here is that, let me find that. So we somehow need to retrieve this thing description. All the thing description right now can be hosted, self-hosted. So all these three things expose their own thing description. For example, this one exposes it in this URL. Let's go here. It's here, but they are also hosted for convenience and easy indexing to a thing description directory, which is Zion, which is our thing description directory. And basically what it does is that it not only hosts non-HTTP things over HTTP, but it gives you also the ability to search for them. For today, we don't have the use case for search things because we already know them, but think about it, a real use case where you have not just your coffee machine, but you have all the coffee machines installed everywhere. So you probably need to search the one that is for that user, and you can do that using thing description directory like Zion. All right. So to fetch it, we need an helper, and I think it can be found inside this package too, if I remember correctly. Yes, right. Thank you again. Just please let me know if I messed up with that, because being just one and controlling also the agenda is very hard. So let me know. Cool. So where were we? We are here. Let's see if we have the WoT helpers. No. I think WoT helpers is inside WoT TD tools. So we have to install it. So here you can find, let me check this. Basically there we have all the tools needed to interact with the description, validate, and for example, fetch it, if I remember correctly. Otherwise, we are going to check the documentation. So let's see. Cons. No. Do like this. Acquire TD tools. Exactly. What do we have here available? Thing model helpers, but it's not what we are looking for. Is it inside the core? Okay. Thank you, Ega. Then, do you remember what's the name? It's just helper. Ah, helper. Okay, that's why I didn't find it. Okay. I always get confused. Because I'm telling you why I'm getting confused. Because this helper library is just a placeholder library, and it's going to be deprecated because we are now implementing the discovery functions and API. So basically, in the future, you don't need to use the helpers anymore, that like I'm showing you right now, but you will just use the discovery API, which are basically a way, W3C compliant way to fetch thing descriptions. Okay, but now we are still in the old version of it because the discovery is just right now coming through as a standard, and so we didn't have time to properly implement it. Okay, WoT helpers? No, they do not need WoT, but they need Servient. And with WoT helper, you can fetch, right? And we are going to fetch coffee TD. And we will use this URL for fetching it. Same goes for the presence sensor. Try to go faster. No, again, back. Okay, and then we have the time TD or clock TD. Wait, WoT helper fetch, and it's hosted here. So let's do some console log. Let's read the ID of all of them. And this is a presence sensor clock TD. Okay. Okay, I've also to change this. It's presence sensor TD and clock TD. All right, let's run this, not this. Let's run this. Okay, we got them. Now we can start right away to write the business logic. Okay, not right away, to be honest. We have another concept that to understand is basically once you have fetched the description, you now need to create the virtual handle for that thing description. So basically, it's just the mirror of the remote web thing in your local machine. And this mirror is a consume thing. So it's an object that basically has all the affordances, meaning the properties, action, events of the remote thing. And then you can interact with it simply by invoking or using the operations that are available in the thing description. It's way easier to show you how it works than explain the concept here. Basically, what you have to do is to call WoT Consume, and this is a fundamental operation for the WoT runtime and the scripting API. And what it does, again, it creates this virtual object of the theme description that represents that thing. It's asynchronous, so we have to await it, and then it creates, we call it something like coffee machine. Okay. Just to go a little bit deeper, in node-wot, this means that it reads the theme descriptions and it does not start any web server or client. It just have everything ready to be used. Okay. It does a little bit of lazy loading in the background. So if you don't use an affordance, it will not create resources for that. And for the people who doesn't know the affordances, again, I use affordances because we use in the working group, but it means basically a property or an action or event. Okay, it's an interaction pattern, right? We go on and we consume all the other. We can see if everything works. Let's do this console log as suggested. Probably I have to disable this GitHub Copilot because it's sometimes annoying, but it's also useful and we get things done faster. So, but we can read the resources, for example. So there are different ways of defining the scripting API. We choose this declarative approach, which is that basically we map one-to-one the operations that are in the description. So you do not do like this, but we chose to actually call a function, which is read property. And why we are doing that? Because we thought that it's easier for developers to have a one-to-one mapping with the theme description and what happens in the code. If you want to have that touch of abstraction, like instead of using read property, use resources, you can do it yourself, or external libraries. Once everything is settled and standardized, external libraries can do this for you. So it could be on another library on top of the script API that can do this abstraction for you. So let's see if we are able to read the coffee machine resources. All right. No, just yes. What is happening? I'll tell you why. So why I'm seeing all this other information if I do simply like this? Because again, it's another API choice. When you read a property, you do not get back or invoke an action or any other operation. You do not get back the result of it, but you get back another handle. Because with this handle, you can decide to do streaming operation on it. So you can read in streaming the payload. You can get the raw payload, or you can choose to get the real payload parsed and translated in a JavaScript object or a JavaScript value. Why you can do this? Because we have different use cases where you do not always to get the parsed object, but you want to manipulate it because you have some custom logic to use. So to really access it, we call this output, and we copied it. We remove the output, and we do coffee sorry, is coffee machine output, and we call the value function. The value function does what I said. So it distracts the payload, it validates it using the schema, and I'll show you what the schema is. Okay, there's something wrong. Invalid value according to data schema. This is weird. Another problem that we didn't see. How can I solve this? It should be valid, right? So it should be an object. It is an object. Please, we try it again. It is an object. So what is happening? Thing with property resources. Coffee machine resources. Sorry, Ege, you have some input? For people in YouTube, probably you cannot hear Ege, but basically in Discord is also here with me. I see. I see. What is weird though, so basically Ege pointed out that you see here the schema of these properties is type objects, but also have other constraints like type integer with a maximum, and this is the same, and so on. So what is happening is that if you read the object itself, those values are higher than the maximum values that are shown there, and that's why they are not working anymore. So it could be that this is the old thing description, probably, and it's not the new one. So let's see if it's a caching problem. No, I did something wrong. Let's see if it is caching problem. Sources, object. No, it's not caching problem. Seems something wrong with the version of it. Probably when we restarted them, we had some problems. What we can do, can you fix it? Ege is saying that you can fix it. But another way to fix this is to, I'll show you. So what happened, like in this case, is when there are a bug, somebody baked a bug in the remote thing, like it's happening right now. But you still want to use the value that is returned for you. So in theory, you can use this way. You can do a try catch and show you what is in the error. So what happens is that, okay, cool. But I just want to show the people about this. So basically, if you still want to use the value, even if the data schema is telling you that the value is not correct for the data schema, so something is corrupt, but you still want to use it, you can catch the error, and in the value you get what was parsed. So yeah, you can catch it. For example, if error value, you can do like this, or another way, more secure way, is instance of, and you go for not supported error if you have the type for it, and so on. So let's see if Ege fixed the problem. Let's go back to where everything started. Still invalid value, Ege. Let's go back with this solution. Yeah, I'm getting 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. So probably that's the problem again. All right. Okay. Nice catch. So we need to fetch the new TD, right? Okay. So let's copy this and let's this is what we need. Remove this, remove this, and we should get some. Yes, exactly. So thank you again for fixing the TD. Okay. Now we have to move on with the task. Okay, everything works correctly, and let's keep an eye on the task. So basically, every morning, if we got an event between the 5 and 1 a.m., we should start brewing coffee. All right. So let's prepare everything. So first of all, we need to subscribe for the event of presence detected, right? So for doing so, presence cursor, subscribe event. And what should we do here? So first of all, let's double check the TD, presence section, presence detected. So this is the event fold, okay? And here you can define the handler of the presence detected. We don't care about the data, so we just care about the event. And otherwise you will know, for example, the distance of where the presence was detected, but for the project, this project, we don't care. So another thing that we need to know is the current time, and we get the current time into the clock thing, and we need the property, which is time, and output, and we go, let's call it clock output, and we get time like so, and we log it so that we understand if everything works. So no presence, no event found. Okay, we did something wrong. Not a function because we didn't await. There we go. So we had presence events detected at 4, 3 minutes, and so on. So this is how the object looks like. And it's pretty easy. So the logic is pretty easy. If the current time is greater than 5 and is less than 13, we can brew the coffee, right? To brew the coffee, we can just do, yeah, it's pretty good already. I'm not sure if we have to show the results, because let's see what is the result of the function. Properties, action, brew. It has only the input, so we do not care about the output itself, but we care about the input. So we need to express what we want to brew. And let's brew an espresso. can brew whatever you want. It's like so. Yeah. So we do not care about the outputs anymore. We just invoke the action. And we have done. So right now it should be time to make an espresso to get the event. Our 5. Why didn't I didn't save. Sorry about that. We have resources. Okay, we did something wrong again. Yeah, of course. This is view, and this is the input. So yeah, basically the error was that here you have to provide the name of the action, and then here you have the input. Okay, that's why it didn't work. Okay, coffee made. So of course this is going to run for every present detected after 5 and 1. So what we should do is that probably we just need a flag. I think we can define a flag here. Let's put it here. Let coffee made false and not coffee made. We can do coffee made true. And we could also do kind of a timer to reset the coffee made variable. Another thing that we can try is to observe the time property of the clock. And basically, if the time is after 13, so it's 14, we can reset it so that it's not gonna loop forever, right? So we can use the clock. We can observe a property, time, get the data. Thanks, Copilot. Once time, once again, wait data value, and we log the time for to debug a little bit. If time hour is greater than the 13, so like this, we can simply coffee made false. So let's see if it works now. What is happening? Valid data according to data schema. Why is that so? Should be fine. What is this? Value undefined. Yeah, I'm trying to understand that. Coffee resources. Time? Is it time? Or maybe it's this one. This one? Not working correctly. I cannot find the fact trace here. Or maybe it's just me that I'm blanking. Yeah, probably it's the new one added. Just undefined. Could be a bug in the co-op find. Could be. Okay, another way to implement this is go with a set interval. It's less ideal, but we can check every second the value of the clock. Of course, this is like this. And we can do like this. I don't like that much. I prefer the other way, but it does the work. It does work too. I should. Of course, I do not create this. There we go. You made the coffee and then you wait until it's another day, basically. Okay, so we implemented the basic logic of the task itself. And I guess you checking our timeline and agenda, we can go on with the creating new thing. Meanwhile, I could go into detail, but we are kind of past 1 hour long. I didn't expect that, to be honest. So I will jump right away to create a new thing and show you the other side of the coin. So here we were just interacting with the thing. Now we are going to create a new one and expose it and use it here to do something else. The idea that we had, again, is pretty basic. So let's go back. Let's create a new folder. We call it Spotify thing. So it's pretty basic. It's a thing that allows you to control your own Spotify client inside your computer. So it's everything local. Again, this is the first live event. If this is going to work, we are in the discussion to bring devices here or inside Ege's office. Try to do more complex MSAP applications with real devices. And so for today, everything is virtual, almost virtual. But in the future, we can actually show real stuff happening. It's just for demoing the functionality of node-wot and to test it live. So for the Spotify thing, we have to do the same as we did before. We have to init. We go like everything, yes. We create another instance of Visual Studio Code. We can do this without installing everything manually, so it's faster. Spotify thing, where is it? Not here. It's this. There we go. So if we have dependencies, we go for npm install. Something is wrong. Okay, I don't know why it's wrong. I didn't save it. And while it's installing index.js, this is going to be the main entry point of our web thing. Okay, they are installing. I want to create a bunch of stuff. Sort of the same, but different. Now we do not need the clients anymore. We just need the server. Why? Because we're going to expose the thing. HTTP server. And that's all the things that we need. We can also remove the outputs. And we need to configure the server, HTTP server. We have the configuration parameter, we have the port. And the port, let's do 444. Because I usually don't use that port and I should not have any process running there. HTTP server. And what we do, we add the server to the Servian. Okay. As you probably can imagine, we can do a mixed configuration. That's why it's called Servian. It could be a server or also a client. So you can have server together with the client. You can only have clients. You can have only server. So in this example, we are seeing the simplified version. So in one application, only client. In the other application, only server. Okay. For example, if you have to combine multiple web things together and you want to expose a combined thing of all these things that you combine, you have to configure both client and server because you have to fetch them, interact with them, and you have to expose it. One example of this, concrete example, could be a proxy. So you want to proxy MQTT to HTTP. You have to configure a server that has HTTP server because you want to expose it, and MQTT client because you want to interact with it. Okay, so we configure it. We start with Servient once again. And by the way, this mode is also available in the CLI mode, but again, today it's not working, so probably there's a bug somewhere. And now I want to introduce you the concept of thing models. So basically here, when you want to expose the thing, we have two primitives that Copilot already kind of introduced to you. One is produce, and the other is expose. So the produce function gives you the ability to create kind of a stub of the thing, starting from what is called a thing model, or here we call the exposed thing init object. Let's pretend this is just a thing model, okay? A thing model is basically, as probably the name already conveys to you, is just kind of a placeholder, not a placeholder. It's like the structure of the thing description that you want to expose, okay? With the structure, I mean, you just put some basic information and then node-wot steals what is left. Example, I would like to create a thing that has these three properties. Okay, but I do not know how, I don't know, the server is configured and where to host the server. So node-wot does that for you. Node-wot knows the server, knows the path that is available, and it creates the forms for you and it fills them for you. And I'll show you this right away. So let's do this in line. Maybe in a future live, I can show you a more structured way of doing this. Just to briefly introduce you, if you want to do it in a structured way, your thing models should stay in a folder like if they are assets, or even better, they could be shared among different applications so that you can use them to search for things that comply with that thing model, or you can use them to simulate the thing in your test and see what happens, okay? But this is advanced use of node-wot and advanced use of the concept of other things, and we're going to show them in the future live or in future, I don't know, lecture. Let's see what we can organize, okay? So for today, we simply go inline, meaning that we can call the function produce and describe the thing description right away. We need to await, we need to be a thing. So let's give this a title. Sorry, it is Spotify player. All right, Spotify player. Let's just put an action here. I don't want to get this really complicated because I just want to show you what could be the creation of the thing. So I pose. Let's do not put this, use that. Yeah, probably do not need even the output. Let's do like this. Play or pause the local Spotify player. And that's it. I don't have any other information to fill in. And yeah, I think that's fine. So expose thing. No, let's call this a thing. And basically, now you created the stub. But as Copilot once again correctly suggesting, we have to instruct node-wot what to do when someone asks us to invoke the action. So to do that, we create an action handler. We configure an action handler, set action handler. And for the function that we created. It's not a function, it's an action. And since we are not getting any input, we do not get any input. And here we will play pause Spotify. For doing that, I found a clever library that now I think I lost it. Let's see if it's still here. Yes, it's here. It's a key sender. Start it if you don't already. I think I start right now. Great, thank you guys. And here, no, sorry, I lost myself once again. Myself application. This is Spotify thing. Yeah, there we go. So with this, what we are able to do is to simulate key press on the keyboard. And I already configured my Spotify client to start when I click the multimedia button plays false. And we are going to do just exactly like that. Here in the action handler, we're going to click the button play false. And that's it. So pretty easy. And let's follow a little bit the instruction over here that I do not remember. So we don't have an import. We have to do this manually. I think it's like this. Key sender, right? Key sender. And we are going to take hardware, which in turn you can do like this. It's a weird name, but with hardware you can set the keyboard and you can send a key, which is the key should be the multimedia button. Sadly, I don't remember that by heart, but here you have the list of all the codes, and if you can just find it, play. There we go. We just need to send this number and we'll do the trick. All right. One last thing, we need to expose it. Exposing meaning now that we have configured all the handlers for all the affordances, all the interaction patterns of the thing. We did also some preliminary initialization and so on. Now the thing goes live. So here, from this point on, basically the thing is live and people can interact with it. Let's try this. Maybe I wrote too much code without checking it out. Yeah, of course. What is happening? There's no action play pause. Why not? Did I misspell it? Maybe it's the dash. I like it. Oh, action. Yes. Sorry, Tag. You know, this is when you trust too much Copilot. There's a problem it was auto-generated, I guess. Don't remember that. Can check the recording. Okay. We didn't console on anything, but to verify that everything is working, we can once again use Postman or even just simply go HTTP localhost. Probably it's too small for you. Let's see if it's okay. It's answering. Now is how did we call it? Spotify player. Probably it's just everything. There we go. We have it. We can test also the action itself with Postman. So let's create another one, or simply modify this one. We don't care. Can post. Here I have my Spotify player. Now you see it's not paused anymore. I can show you. There we go. It's working. I could try with my headphones in the microphone, but noise canceling is too good, and it completely cuts out all the music. So you can trust me, it works. So there we go. We have our things, and now what we simply have to do is to consume the thing description of the Spotify player here. Actually, first we have to fetch it, and then we have to consume it. Just to be double sure. All right. We have Spotify player. Let's log it. There we go. Here you can do. Oh, sorry, I forgot to consume it. There we go. Invoke action. There we go. So let's bring this up. Maybe I can do like this and this. And we can do node index.js. Let's hope that the timing is good. What is happening? Oops. I think I opened another one. We have two instances. What is going on? Why part is already used? There's no server here. Okay. Sorry about that. I am in the wrong folder. Silly mistake. Sorry. Node index.js. There we go. Service started. Time. It's too late. It's too early. We have to wait a little bit. Meanwhile, while it's running, I can show you what is happening when you read the property, right? So when you read the property in node-wot, you go inside of it. In the core, what implements? Oh, sorry, is that a consume thing? There we go. So when you read the property, we have a bunch of stuff here. But basically, let's try to read property. Read properties. There we go. So this is the function that does all the stuff that we are seeing right now. So as you see, get the description of it, and thanks to it, it retrieves smartly enough the right clients to interact with it. So it will work even with MQTT or co-op, everything that's structured for you. It does a bunch of checks, and then it handles this thing called URI variables. And after it, it invokes the client, much like a plugin pattern sort of, calls directly the client read the search function that does the actual operation for you. So it gets all the information from the form and it delivers the content. It's pretty simple. We did our best to abstract as much as possible and to basically help the implementation of the bindings itself to do this for you. There we go. It started meanwhile while we're talking. You see, it's not closed anymore. We made the copy, and the player started. And yeah, basically we completed our task. We have an exposed thing that controls Spotify. We have a couple of logic that does the coffee automatically, and it also plays Spotify for us. So that is great. Going back to what happens behind the curtains, again, everything is kind of happening thanks to this plugin pattern. Basically, bindings for us are plugins that you can install in node-wot and contains the logic to really does the interaction with the remote thing. And that's what's happening. So if we want to go even deeper here, I can show you what happens, for example, in the HTTP binding. You go inside the client implementation. This is compiled JavaScript, so it's not that great to see. But basically, there we go. This is the read resource. You get the forms, and it generates the request itself. So if you ever programmed with Node and interacted with a web server, you probably already know HTTP module. There we have a bunch of API. One of those is request. And basically what this function does, it creates a request, starting from the information that you get in the form. You send it. We use another function, fetch, for sending the request. We do some basic checks. For example, if everything is okay, and if something is wrong, for example, it's 404, we throw there. And if everything is wrong, it's okay, we get the stream of the body. So this is another peculiar thing. We do not return anything parse. With node-wot, the interface with the protocol binding is that it returns just a stream, so that the upper layer, the core, can choose which content type or which library to parse the stream itself, or even the highest abstraction level, the application, can choose to control the body for you. This allows to have these complex use cases where you do not parse immediately the body, but just when the application needs it. It could be a video. We never tried that, but I bet that with this API, you can also handle videos in node-wot. Or you have a huge JSON file, for example, and you do not go with the automatic way. You just have some JSON streaming parser. Thanks to this API, Node Core does not do that for you. You can do it in the application level. So this is pretty a flexible way, in my point of view, and I like it quite much. And so this is kind of a sneak peek of what is happening behind the curtain. I hope it was interesting. If you want to know more, you can reach me out on Discord or by email. I'm very happy to help you with it. We're also looking for contributors for new bindings. So if you have a new idea for a new protocol that is not present in the list that you've seen before, you can reach us. You can do a PR. You can ask questions. What is the interface and so on. We can help you with that. So having said that, I think we have done with the thing. So let's move on with that. We created the thing, and we are in the conclusions. First of all, I want to thank Hege for helping me out to organize this. So thank you really much, Hege. Thank you to the community group. Thank you to all the contributors of node-wot. They did a great job. As you see, it's pretty work in progress. We try to get it better and better every day. So, and we are also looking for new contributors. I'm not sure if we got any questions so far from YouTube, because I lost the chat again. No movement at all. Great. Yeah, one additional thing that I want to show you, maybe it's kind of an Easter egg, but the checklist that you are seeing over there, I guess it's over here, right? It's controlled by this, which is a simple web application. But the fun thing is that it is itself a web thing. So the list itself is a web thing that I'm controlling using node-wot as a client here. And everything happens over HTTP, but it was quite easy to program. I did that right before this call this morning. And yeah, so I can show you the code of it if you don't trust me. Let's see if I can quickly go there. Yeah. By the way, this is a nice It's not an add-on of OBS. It's basically a simple web application, but it's really nice because it gives you the ability to do this kind of overlay, just simply editing index HTML. So this is what I did. I modified a little bit for today, but this is the code itself. You see, you have the servient, you have the task list, you have the steps, you have the config file, the action up and down, and the actions up and down are the ones that are controlled by the web page that I showed you. So behind the curtain, in the other screen, I was clicking up and down in this web client that you're seeing here. And all of the requests were handled by node-wot and get back to you by an express server. So this is a small Easter egg. But then you can also do this remotely, right? So I can give to Ege, the client, and proxy my web thing to him, and he can control the agenda remotely without me kind of keeping everything locally. So maybe next time we're going to use this because I did also a poor job keeping up with the task list. And yeah, let me say that I guess we are at the end of this live stream. I want to thank you everybody that stayed with us. It's kind of longer than I expected, probably longer than we expected, right, Ege? And yeah, with that, I think we can close the live streaming and on YouTube. And if anybody wants to join on Discord, we're going to hang around a little bit for, I don't know, conclusions and final wrap up. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us once again. I hope to see you in the next live coding.